we're going to go to Angelina Salcido, who is at Chamblee Tucker Road, where there are demonstrations going there. At last check, she on the ground. Angelina is joining us now. Angelina, we were seeing some live pictures of what looked like some escalation from law enforcement, but from our last conversation, that was a tactic to push folks back to try to clear some roads. As we know, while these demonstrations are going, there are people in the community still, trying to do their daily tasks, living their everyday lives. And as I was speaking with Dr. Johnson, it's also important to note that a lot of the folks demonstrating are members of their communities. They do not want to see any, and I see some movement back here. Angelina, what are you seeing right now?
Yeah, Faith, so actually what you're seeing right now is people running because another one of those flashbangs actually just went off, and if you take a look at the distance, this is why. So the tactical team for the DeKalb County Police is starting to come this way, and what they're trying to do is clear out the plaza and clear out the protesters that have been a part of this protest. The reason why this is happening is because they chose to march in the street on Chamblee Tucker Road. They were not supposed to do that, and that is what escalated everything. This is typically what we see whenever the tactical team decides to take an action like this, where they deploy the tear gas, where they use a flashbang, and they try to clear people out of an area. People chant shame to them. They tell them that they shouldn't be using this use of force. I will tell you, though, that I did speak to two women that were a part of the group that was close to the on-ramp by the west ramp of 285 that said that they were there when they started marching. They were there when the first rounds of tear gas were deployed. They didn't get that full blast of tear gas in their eyes, but their eyes did start tearing up. They said, in hindsight, we probably should not have taken to the streets. We probably should not have been marching on the streets. We probably should have stayed to the sidewalk. But because the entire group decided to march on the streets, they felt that it was safe enough for them to do so, so they went with the group and they went with the organizers. Again, the tactical team did not come out right away. The tactical team actually took their time. DeKalb County Police tried to kind of corner the group and make sure that they were in a space where they were contained and would not get on that ramp to get on 285 until the tactical team was ready to then come out and then move them back. So they have moved them a significant amount from the west ramp of 285 all the way down here to Embry Plaza in front of the sign. You can see like the Kroger sign in front of the Moe's and all of that. This is where the protests actually started. This is where they were stationed. This is where they were allowed to be. But again, once things started to take a turn and once they started moving, that is obviously going to change things for police. It's going to change things for law enforcement, and it's also going to change the reaction. We don't necessarily know what the time frame was for this protest. The last time they did hold a protest in Brookhaven, they were told that they had several hours for them to protest. It started at 6:30. They were allowed to go until 9:30. This protest started at noon. I would assume that they gave them several hours in order for them to protest, but we don't know what time it was that they were told to wrap up. And so once they are given that wrap up, though, usually the organizers will tell the group, thank you so much for coming out. Now it's your time to go. We all need to make sure that we get out of the area. I would say that the grand majority of the group has actually gotten out of the area. What we're seeing is people lingering around and maybe calling the police out for the actions that they have been taking because they don't agree with the actions that they're taking. And we're seeing a lot of members from the press as well that are documenting this just like we are and bringing these images to you live. I will tell you that this tactical team for DeKalb County Police knows exactly what they're doing and how to just strategically move people around. It's the same exact thing that we saw on Tuesday when the protesters tried to move around and they were told that they couldn't move around. They brought out the tactical team right away and the protesters immediately stopped moving. That was the first time around. It was early in the day. It was still light out. It was not dark. They told the protesters that they couldn't move anymore, and then they started migrating back to their area and they stayed on the sidewalk again. It was when the night fell that things changed. The grand majority of the protesters had gone home, but again, like Brookhaven Police said, it was that group of agitators that then started throwing the fireworks at this same team that we're taking a look at here that then ended up changing things. And so here we have not seen any agitators necessarily. anybody. We haven't seen anybody taking violent actions against police. All we saw were people marching down the street, trying to get on the ramp to the highway, on the west side ramp of 285, staying up in that area, and then when they were told to move by the tactical team, they didn't move. That's when the flashbangs went off, that's when the smoke was deployed, and that's when things changed. They have started to continue making their way down the road. The tactical team has. I'm watching a few of them now put on their gas masks. I'm watching them kind of drink some water, refill themselves, and game plan where it is that they're going to go next, where they need to move next, what it is that they need to do next. And at the same time, the DeKalb County Police's helicopter is also circling this area as DeKalb County Police on the road continues to drive around and make sure that they circle the area to monitor traffic. The traffic here on Chamblee Tucker Road is still blocked off in that area where the protesters were walking. There is traffic that is still going down Old Chamblee Tucker Road. People are still allowed to go down that area, and the plaza is still open as well to people. You can see that the CERT team is now walking towards us right now. They're telling people that they do need to move. Any protesters that may be lingering, anybody that may still be here, they're telling them that they need to get out of the way and that they need to move. There are protesters that are not immediately in the plaza necessarily, but they are on the sidewalk, and they are telling them that they need to make sure that they get out of the way. As you can see, as you take a look at the tactical team, they are well equipped with their gear. So they have their shields on them as well. They also have their zip ties for their handcuffs as well. They have gas masks on, they have helmets on, and they have their airsoft weapons that they use for them to be able to make sure that they move people as well.
And we want to make sure that you all are protected.
So you can hear them kind of coordinating right now. We are, yes. We are, and we are still feeling okay. Our security guard is also with us. We have our security guards with us. Now they're about to move, and they're about to keep moving forward. So what they're doing right now is making sure that they go through the plaza to make sure that the protesters are no longer in this area. They basically just want to make sure that everybody goes home, and they want to make sure that once that happens, there is nobody else that's going to be lingering in this area and left over, so that way things then don't get out of hand or things don't change after that. But these are the only protesters that are left behind. The ones that you see walking on the sidewalk, the ones that they are currently continuing to move back. And this is a drastic change from the crowd that we saw just a little bit ago. It was probably maybe about like 20-25 minutes ago. I mean, it was hundreds and hundreds of people. Now we're looking at what, maybe 20 to 25 people as well. So DeKalb County Police still in this plaza along the side all the way down there as the CERT team as the tactical team continues to move down and push them down. I believe that they're just going to make sure that they move out of the plaza and that they just get out of the way, and that they're not in anybody else's way who's trying to, again, like you said, go through their daily life, make sure that they can kind of just go about everything freely and that nothing else is interrupted. But yes, it has been a very fluid day out here. Things did take a turn. For the most part, the protest itself was peaceful. Those two girls that I did speak with that ended up having the tear gas thrown at them said that for the grand majority of the time, they felt really good about being out here. They felt really passionate about being out here, and they were just happy to be able to get their message across today.
If you can hear me, Angelina, you did mention this, but just to clarify, the demonstrators, they are being pushed back from the plaza. Do we know, is law enforcement shutting down the protest completely, or are they just trying to push them out of the way of those active businesses? I saw Wells Fargo Bank. We know that there's a Planet Fitness, Kroger, that plaza where you are right now.
I believe that they are just pushing them out of the plaza, but if I'm taking a look down right now close to where the protest actually originated from, and there is still a small group that's there. I don't know if they just ended up coming back right now, and so we'll just have to see kind of as the tactical team comes back what that ends up looking like. I do want you guys to take a listen to someone that we ended up speaking to a little bit earlier about what happened earlier this afternoon. Walk me through what you guys just went through.
All we had was a peaceful protest. We were on the sidewalks and we decided to get on the street on the other side, and immediately the cops and all the cars just rolled up and quite literally started I think we were peaceful. Literally, it was peaceful, and all you hear is a bomb, and it was, what was it? A flash?
It was a flash.
It was a flashbang, and that's when everything went downhill.
How did it feel while you were out there in the front?
It felt scary, mostly just because you see our cops being like all dressed up in their gear, and they were very intimidating, and all we were doing was just chanting our chant and walking through the street. We weren't hurting anybody, we weren't doing anything wrong. We're literally just trying to make people aware that immigrants did something for this country, and literally the ancestors of the people who do not want immigrants here literally did the same thing.
I think that maybe like their argument would be, we don't want them to obstruct traffic, and we definitely don't want them to get on the highway. What would you guys say to that?
No, most definitely. I definitely think we should have stayed on the sidewalk to just avoid any problem and conflicts, anything to escalate. Now, I definitely think them throwing that flashbang, unnecessary, just disappointed. Like, it's just disappointment everywhere, because you're hurting citizens and also immigrants who are like trying to voice their heart about what's going on in the country right now. So,
were you guys tear gassed? Did you get the tear gassing right?
yes, I was crying just a little bit, but I couldn't even imagine what the people who got tear gassed right directly in front of them are going through right now. All you see is red eyes, crying, water bottles passed around because of how badly they're hurt. It's just so unnecessary. It could have been handled so much differently.
Why did you guys want to come out here today?
So my parents are immigrants. They're citizens now, but it's just like, you have a future ahead of us. The country was built off of people. The country is a stolen land. I mean, it's built off of immigrants. It's built off of people who came here for a better future, not to be thrown back to where they're trying to leave from. We're here to represent our country. We're here to represent diversity. We're here to represent, not that just this country is just full of white people. It's full of everyone of every flag and every color. So it's just.
How about you? Why did you come out here?
Because everybody thinks that the people who are protesting hate America and hate everything that's like, they just hate, like, they're saying that we hate America, but we don't. We love America. We love what it has to offer us. We love the people that are in it. We just wish that things could be different, and the people who run America could actually do better. And we say that our country is served under God and we serve justice to all, but the truth is that it's not doing that right now.
Now, those two women that you heard from there, their families are from Peru and from Mexico as well. So that's their personal story, and that's why they were out there. That's why they were out here this afternoon. To give you an update on what's currently happening here right now, just spoke to a member of the tactical team that is currently moving the protesters back. I asked him, are you guys shutting down the protests, or what's the current update of what's going on? He said they had the ability to legally protest. They had their time to demonstrate. Now it's become unlawful, and now it's time for them to go. So that's basically what they have been doing. He has a loudspeaker that he's been using to basically say that it is an unlawful assembly if they are still out here right now. So that's why we still have the tactical team out here, and that's why they continue moving people back, trying to make sure that they get out of the plaza and out of everybody's way if they still happen to be out here, because it's now considered unlawful for them to be out here in this area, Faith.